All right, Reds. People say Manchester United's downfall began with bad transfers. Others blame the Glazers. Some blame the managers who came after Sir Alex Ferguson. But what if I told you? The first domino didn't fall on a football pitch. It fell on a racecourse. This is the incredible story of Rock of Gibraltar, the horse that many believe changed Manchester United forever. The year is 2003. Manchester United are the kings of English football. Sir Alex Ferguson has already built one of the greatest dynasties football has ever seen. The treble has been won. Old Trafford is a fortress. United are feared across Europe. Off the pitch, Ferguson shares ownership of a champion racehorse called Rock of Gibraltar with Irish racing magnates John McNair and J.P. McManus. At first, everything seems perfect. Rock of Gibraltar becomes one of the greatest racehorses in history, winning 7 consecutive Group 1 races. Then everything changes. The horse retires. And suddenly, a disagreement erupts over one thing: the breeding rights. Those rights could be worth hundreds of millions of pounds over the horse's lifetime. Ferguson believed a handshake agreement entitled him to half the stud income. McNair and McManus disagreed. What started as a private dispute exploded into one of football's biggest legal battles. But this wasn't just an argument over a horse. John McNair wasn't only one of the world's biggest racehorse owners, he was also one of Manchester United's largest shareholders. The courtroom battle destroyed the relationship between Ferguson and McNair. Soon the dispute spread into Manchester United itself. McNair and McManus demanded answers from the club. 99 questions. Questions about transfers. Questions about agents. Questions about finances. Suddenly, Manchester United wasn't dominating the headlines for trophies. It was dominating them for internal warfare. The boardroom became divided. Trust disappeared. While everyone was distracted by the civil war inside Old Trafford, someone else was watching. The Glazer family. Slowly, quietly, patiently, buying more and more shares. Then came the moment that changed everything. McNair and McManus decided enough was enough. Rather than continue the battle surrounding the club, they sold their shares. Not to Manchester United supporters, not to a local businessman, to Malcolm Glazer. Those shares gave the Glazers the position they needed to complete their leveraged takeover in 2005. That takeover loaded enormous debt onto Manchester United. Debt the club had never carried before. Money that many supporters believe could have been invested in players, facilities, and long-term planning, instead went towards servicing that debt. The green and gold movement was born. Thousands protested outside Old Trafford. Fans warned this would change the club forever. Many believe they were right. To be clear, history is more complicated than saying the horse caused everything. The dispute over Rock of Gibraltar was one important asset among several. The Glazers still had to build their shareholding and execute the takeover, and there were wider financial and ownership dynamics at play. But numerous journalists and historians have argued that the breakdown in relationships created by the horse dispute opened the door that the Glazers ultimately walked through. Ironically, Sir Alex Ferguson continued doing what he always did. He kept winning. 3 more Premier League titles, another Champions League final. He somehow held the empire together. But when Ferguson retired in 2013, the cracks became impossible to hide. Managers came and went. Hundreds of millions were spent. Recruitment became chaotic. Footballing identity disappeared. Old Trafford aged. Rivals overtook United. Liverpool caught up. Manchester City surged past. The club that once set the standard became a symbol of drift. Today, Manchester United remain one of the biggest clubs on earth. The fan base is still unmatched. Old Trafford still shakes on European nights. The badge still means everything. But for many supporters, one question refuses to disappear. What if that legal battle had never happened? What if Rock of Gibraltar had simply remained a racehorse? Would Magnier and McManus have stayed? Would the Glazers have gained control? Would Manchester United still have avoided decades of debt and instability? We'll never know. But one thing is certain. Very few football clubs have had their destiny altered by events that began so far away from the pitch. A horse, a handshake, a courtroom, a takeover, and a story that still echoes around Old Trafford more than 20 years later. Glory, glory Manchester United.